What's up, college swimming fans? My name is Brendan Burns.
I'm Aislinn Walsh. We're the College Swimming Podcast.
Let's have some fun. It's been a little while since our last podcast. A lot has happened in the college swimming world, specifically on my end of things with some big dirty doubles happening. Luca Orlando throwing down two 139s very early in the season. He looks to be back in elite form after his Olympic berth this summer, also throwing down a 44-1 100 fly. Also in the SEC, LSU and Texas battled in Baton Rouge. Aislinn, there was a big swim that you want to talk about.
The 2 fly by Emma Sticklin. I think that was a PB for her, correct?
Yeah.
She went faster than the last 2 winning NCAA times in the last 2 years, which is insane, especially for like September, October. Not even invite, like go her. That's incredible.
Also in that meet, Hubert Koch and Rex Maurer were putting on a show. They were really dominant, picking up a few wins of their own. Will Modulin, David Johnson, Luke Hobson, and Nate Germanprey all look to bolster a rebuilt Texas Longhorn squad this year that is vying for a national championship. For the Tigers, the LSU Tigers, sprinter Jera Hribar, I'm really sorry if I said that name wrong. He split 18-3 on the back of a 2 medley relay, which is incredible for October. And he also recently took down a Michael Phelps pool record at the Naval Academy in the 100 freestyle. So Erica Sullivan graduated last year, Olympic silver medalist in the mile. Really big.
And then we're expecting Jillian Cox.
Jillian Cox and Kate Hurst are incoming freshmen that are distance and very
good. Think that they're going to be able to fill Erica Sullivan's shoes?
Yes.
You do think so? Together, or do you think separately one of them is going to break out and kind of like?
Well, Jillian Cox made Worlds last year, and then Kate Hurst was at Worlds this year. So, they're both really good.
Yeah.
So either.
They'll be a powerhouse together then between the two of them.
Yeah.
Amazing. So SMU Classic recap, what do we think about that? What do we have on?
The SMU Classic, always known for really fast in-season times. Carlos Cole-Marti threw down a 150.200 breast for Virginia Tech. And Carlos Cole-Marti, friend of the program, he is sneaky good NCAA swimmer. He is one of 3 people all time to be under 150 in the 200-yard breaststroke and 140 in the 200-yard IM. He joins Andrew Seliskar and Leon Marchand as the only 3 men to be able to do that.
So there were some of your old IU teammates in that meet as well. What were some highlights from them?
Miroslav Knedla, the young Czech backstroker, his first short course 200 backstroke, he breaks 140. 1 for 1 under 140. He goes 139 to take the win, and that was really incredible. Owen McDonald, ASU transfer, he swept the IMs and added another win in the 100 backstroke to take home the swimmer of the meet honors.
Dennis Petrashov from Louisville had a pool and a meet record in the one breast with a 51.50. Oh my goodness, that's fast, bro. For right now.
It's unreal fast. That's NCAA final almost.
Yeah. And like all these times are happening so early in the season. Like the season's barely I feel like preseason for a lot of teams has just been over in the last 2 weeks. And people are already going like this fast, which is wild to me. So what do you think, really quick, what do you think that looks like in projection to NCAAs this year? Do you think that there's going to be a cluster of people in the 48, even 49 range and 100 breast if they're doing that? Or even the 2 fly, Emma Sticklin, do you think she's going to be in the 148 or low 149? How does that?
It's so tough to project. I mean, there's kind of 2 different schools of thought I think you can go with. I think on one hand, those early season times, they definitely mean something. That definitely means that you're doing something right in the pool day in and day out, and you're able to put up a time in a month like October where most people are getting absolutely destroyed in the pool. Right. Or you can just kind of be well, I know our approach in college was that there's only 1 month of the year that matters, and that's March. So I don't really think that either of those 2 schools of thought are inherently totally right or totally wrong. You just kind of take what you get and move on with it. Just keep doing the little things right and keep putting in the hard work.
So moving on, Tori Husk and Jack Alexi dominate the Cal versus Stanford triple distance. What? What is that? What does that mean?
Triple distance. So the triple distance, one of the more interesting dual meets in the country. So it's broken up into a few different groups of people. So you select a group to belong to. You're either a butterflyer, a backstroker, a breaststroker, where you swim a 50, 100, 200 of those strokes. You're an IMer, where you swim the 100, 200, 400 IM. Or you're a distance swimmer, where you swim the 200, 500, or 1,000. Also sprint freestyle, you're swimming the 50, 100, 200. And you can't really jump between strokes. You're just kind of doing one and riding out through the meet. Jack Alexi won the sprint freestyle and Tori Husk won the butterfly. And there have been some really, really fast times put up at that meet recently. I wish that more teams would do kind of that format. I think it's a really, really interesting idea, and especially this early in the season when the times are less important than just kind of being consistent across different kinds of distances and different kinds of strokes. Then I think more teams should really be open to that.
I didn't know that was a thing, but that sounds like fun. Like, I feel like in like a meet, like that would have been fun, because I always did 100 fly, 200 fly in the same heat, and I'm sure you probably did something insane with a double, with a 200 or 100 fly or 2 fly, whatever you probably did. But
it would have been nice to do a 50 or once in a while. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, so UVA and then the Florida short course meters.
Short course meters. Make dual meets short course meters. I think many more dual meets should be short course meters.
And why do you think that?
Because I think that yards, we're kind of these silly little Americans that think yards are really important. And while yards are great, yards are really awesome to race, short course meters is what is globally relevant. It's what
actually, that's facts, because Worlds in December is going to be in short course meters.
Exactly.
The World Cup going on in Shanghai is in short course meters, isn't it?
Shanghai and Korea, and they're going to Singapore next, I think. So they're, the rest of the world swims short course meters, but because we're Americans, we've been to the moon and we measure in yards. That's kind of what people say. And I don't know. I'm a big short course meter fan, but anyway, Gretchen Walsh, getting right back to it after the Olympics. 3 American records, 50 back, 100 back, 50 free, world record in the 100 IM, first woman ever under 56. She's going to have probably the best NCAA season ever for the second year in a row, which sounds pretty ridiculous saying, but it's kind of inevitable at this point. She's just kind of unstoppable. The Florida men were also looking really dangerous. They had a 1 through 6 sweep of the 800, which is pretty ridiculous. They are freestyle U. And they also had a 1 through 3 sweep of the 400. Josh Liendo, Olympic silver medalist, was really, really good. He had a bunch of really good relay splits. He won the 100 fly. And Florida has some foreign underclassmen backstrokers on the men's side in Johnny Marshall and Aiden Norman, and they look to be real dangerous this year. Last year, Johnny Marshall, NCAA finalist in both the 100 and 200 backstroke, and he looks to be maybe even a title favorite this year.
And then back to UVA, the women made a big statement again. They're probably going for, is it 5? 5 NCAA titles, and they just easily be a top 4 team. 2 U.S. Open the relay records, insane. And then Claire Curzan looks like she is having a nice settle into Charlottesville, so that's great for her. Claire
Curzan, underwater demon. She's going to be a really big asset on that UVA women's squad this year. Moving on to the Big Ten, Michigan had a tri-meet with Wisconsin and Notre Dame, only the women. But on the women's side, there were some really impressive sprint times put up. Aislinn, I know you're a sprinter yourself. What do you think of a 1:28.6 2 free relay in October?
I mean, I feel like because of how competitive all of the changes and stuff in conferences are, they weren't suited for this, were they? Or were they?
I don't think so. I think this was practice suit.
So I feel like people are probably a little bit out for blood because they're like, we need to make statements with these new teams coming in on our turf, basically. So I'm not really that surprised by that. Like Michigan has a good sprint group, especially from what I've seen at Ohio State. I think within last year and this year, they have good 50, 100 freestyler girls. They're going to be pretty solid.
They're going to be really big threats to win the 2 and 4 free relay at Big Tens, and then definitely a final at NCAAs. They're going to be ones to watch as the season progresses. Phoebe Bacon, back from her Olympic berth, she had 3 wins on the day for Wisconsin, which is pretty incredible. We need to get her on the podcast. She'd be a great podcast guest.
She would be.
Shout out Phoebe Bacon. Everyone loves Phoebe Bacon. In Michigan, the men's fly group, specifically Tyler Ray and Colin Gear, they look to be one of the best in the Big Ten. They had some big swims against the Badgers.
So moving on to the IU and the Notre Dame women's meet, IU swept all of the events. I feel like that meet probably could have gone either way because Notre Dame's team has drastically improved through the last couple of years. But Miranda Grania, 51.6 in the 100 back, and then 152 in the 200 back. Faster, her 100 was faster than her 2024 NCAA's place, right?
Yeah, Lily King getting on Twitter saying that 51.6 was done in a practice suit.
The only person I've ever seen swim that fast in a practice suit, I think, in the 100 back was like Amy Fulmer from Ohio State. Like, that is crazy to me.
Some people are just like that, and Miranda, I mean, she's going to be a huge asset to the defending Big Ten champions this year. Seriously,
I watched her in the Cream and Crimson inter-squad meet, and I didn't know who she was before that, but I had never seen someone's underwaters be like that phenomenal. And I think she did the 2 fly. Maybe I was thinking of someone else, but the underwaters were phenomenal. Like, she was at 15 every single wall. And for someone who hated holding their breath, like, I could never imagine. Maybe you could probably like be fine with that, but like, crazy. Anyway.
Underwater Demon defending SEC Freshman of the Year at Texas A&M, and now she's really going to help out IU. It's really fun to see. Friend of the program, Anna Peplowski, had a big day as well. Mariah Denigan and Christina Pagel also picked up wins, and it was good to see the IU Hoosiers get a win over Notre Dame. Moving on to going out west, Cal freshman Yamato Okudome. Apologies if I say your name wrong. 152.8 200 breaststroke versus UCSD. And what's significant about that is that he is a rare Japanese swimmer in the NCAA. So Japan historically has had a very, very good domestic college swimming system over in Japan, but not many of them have come over to the NCAA in the United States. But it's recently come out that Yamato chose to go to Cal because of its academic prowess, but also because Japan is a little bit of a swimming slump right now, and he wants to branch out and see what else is out there. So he's going to be a really interesting storyline to follow as the season progresses. And also as Cal chases a national championship where they graduated Liam Bell last year, and they're looking to fill that breaststroke gap.
It's like you're a good person to have to do recaps because you just
no one in their right mind should know that. Men and
D3
women.
NYU sweeps D1 Fordham. That's crazy. Go D3.
Yeah, huge.
Wait, also, I'm sorry. We'll get back to this NIL thing, but I did not know that Alex Shackle decommitted from Cal. I said this at the Olympics. Really?
Yeah.
Do I live under a rock? Have you, since you know everything about swimming, let's touch on that in a second.
Right.
But since you seem to know everything about the latest thing in swimming, last but not least, athletes can now submit a claim for NIL money, which lets what swimmers do you think would get the most out of this?
I think so. It goes back to 2016, the NCAA competition year, 2015, 2016. So that's the time frame that we're working with. I think first up, pretty obvious slam dunk, Caleb Dressel. That man's going to get paid at least a little bit. Maybe not $5, maybe $20. I think after him, I'd probably go with Lily King. I think also in that $20, maybe $30 range.
So that's all with college swimming this week and last week.
Looking forward to doing a little November recap the next time we get this thing out here. This has been the College Swimming Recap. Up next, the exclusive Matt Fallon interview. On today's episode of the Swim Swam College Swimming Podcast, we welcome 2024 Olympian, 2023 World's Bronze Medalist Matt Fallon. Matt, thank you for joining us today.
It's a pleasure. No problem.
We're so excited to have you. I always like to relate to people like that we're talking to, like if I've met you before. I think I met you last year at Golden Goggles. So nice to see you again.
Nice to see you again, yeah.
Yeah, but we're super happy to have you here. So first things first, we wanted to talk about Olympic trials, like your American record, 2023 World's Bronze Medalist. Like, how does that feel? And like, how would I guess like the version of you before all that happened, like, how do you think that that's like kind of impacted your character? Like, did you expect anything like that? Like, take us through that.
Definitely. I mean, as I was younger, kind of going before that, I had seen myself kind of get better and eventually going up to that point. So kind of right at leading up to it, I was like, oh, maybe this is a possibility of something that can happen, but I haven't really let it like try to change me too much. I just kind of like try and stay the same person as I was before. Just like I'm grateful for everything that's happened to me and all that, but I just kind of like try and stay the same person overall.
That's
Matt,
awesome.
I've been really fortunate to know you for a really long time. We both grew up swimming in YMCA swimming together. Talk about your YMCA upbringing and how that led you to all the success you've had today, and also how it impacted your college decision.
Of course. So I swam for uh, both SHY and SBY, and then after COVID, they put SHY and SBY combined into GSUY. So I've really had the whole Y experience ever since I was the entire time I've been swimming, because I also swam for Summit Area Y when I was 8 and under. So I've been swimming on a Y team my entirety of my life up until college. And I feel like Y swimming is definitely a little different, but I'd say it's kind of more fun. I mean, Y Nationals is like one of my favorite meets I've ever been to. New Jersey Y States is super fun. You just get to, that was kind of like the original like suit up in season meet before everybody started suiting up for dual meets. That was really fun. You just kind of show up and suit up and just kind of swim a ton of events. But really, there's like a kind of a different culture surrounding it. I feel like YMCA teams bring in like a lot more people. There's like a much wider variety of people swimming on Y teams. And it was just swimming on a Y team is really, really cool experience. I wouldn't trade it for anything. In terms of informing my college decision, I feel like it definitely skewed it in the sense that I realized that swimming on YMCA teams, obviously we didn't have, there would be times where we'd have some good facilities because my Y team in multiple locations, but there would be times where we definitely weren't training in the greatest of facilities. We'd be swimming in YMCA pools. So it kind of taught me that I can kind of, that no matter kind of what kind of training environment, what facility you're in, you can kind of make kind of your own decision to like really kind of get the best out of what you have. And that kind of informed my college decision. I wasn't really looking for anything flashy or anything like that. I was really just kind of looking for an environment where I could just kind of put in the work and with a group of people I like, etc.
Definitely. You had a killer YMCA career. You parlayed that into a junior national team appearance. We were at Junior Worlds together in
Yep.
2019. In 2021, you were in Olympic trials final. So talk about that progression from some really early great success in the YMCA world up through the junior team program, all the way up to the highest level of domestic competition at trials, and how that helped you to the world's bronze last year and the American record and Olympic team berth this year.
Of course. So I was at Junior Worlds in 2019. I did not do very well at that meet, but it was definitely a really cool experience, like swimming a swim meet in another country. I had no idea what that was like beforehand. And then I was slated to I was on the junior team. I was slated to go to junior team camp and all that, try out for 2020 Junior Pan Packs. But then, of course, COVID hit and none of that really came to fruition. So it kind of put a wrench in my swimming thing. And also, so I was swimming at GSUY. I forgot to mention this before. So my family had kind of moved to, or we're beginning a move to Florida during that COVID year. So I was kind of swimming. I was training both. So I'd spend like a month or two in Florida at a time, then like a month or two in New Jersey throughout that whole year. So I would train with SPA, St. Petersburg Aquatics, and I'd train with GSUY throughout the duration of that year. So it was definitely kind of an odd experience going through COVID, but both teams were like really kind of helping me, like would definitely really help me try to progress as we went into Olympic trials. Obviously, there aren't really any there's no long course training in outside of the summer where you would go to the community pool. But there's no in-season long course training at GSUY. But I was very grateful, SPA, they have a long course pool. I was really grateful to kind of get in some long course practices there during the year. So that really helped inform me to kind of get to where I was at leading into Olympic trials. And it's really just like you get so many racing opportunities when you're on a Y team because there's still Y dual meets. There's like a million other meets you go to with just a bunch of other Y teams. And they're not always super competitive, but it's just really fun to kind of get in and race.
That's awesome. I also swam on a Y team for like a couple years, but I never found it to be that competitive. And maybe that's like an Indiana thing. But I actually swam on a Y in Michigan, so that's interesting. But so you're from Northern Jersey, right?
Yes.
And then also, so is Jack Alexi, Nick Fink. Mm-hmm. What is it like to be on an Olympic team with people who are like one from your same school, right? Nick Fink, and then also just like from the home, like your same hometown. Because I feel like that's a really uncommon thing to have that many Olympians like from the same area, let alone like the same school.
Yeah, it was definitely really cool having all those people with me at the Olympics. I mean, I've always known Jack was really amazing. I'd always know whenever I did something good, he kind of followed up with something really amazing. So I knew that wherever I was going, Jack was going to end up. So it was definitely kind of not really a surprise to me that he's been doing so well over these past few years, and he's going to continue to do amazing things. And obviously with Nick, I've known of him since I was young. He's obviously 10 years older than me. But it's just been really cool to kind of see everything go full circle in terms of seeing people from where I grew up kind of make it to the same level I have. And I think we had, something really special on that team.
For sure. So follow up then, being an Olympian, you go to a very prestigious school. And I feel like it's not unheard of, but it's definitely not as common to see someone from an Ivy League on the Olympic team, like let alone like the only one. So explain that to us. Like, I know a lot of like Ivy Leagues, they don't give you athletic aid, stuff like that. Like they're probably not the best with making like exceptions for things like that. So like if you have to miss school for a meet or for like a meet like Worlds, like what do you do? How does that work at a school like UPenn?
Well, they've been more lenient on that recently, but it's still really difficult. Like it would be very difficult for me to go international during a school year just because I would miss so much, and it would be kind of a nightmare to just bring everything back together. But in terms of training, obviously this year we don't have our pool's getting renovated, so we don't really have the same facilities that we've had last year. But last year, I mean, we had a long course pool, and I believe it's like the elite athlete exemption that kind of allows some people on the team to kind of go over the 20 hours a week rule. So I was definitely training a lot on my own last year. I was even allowed to get in during our rec time. When our rec time was long course, I'd be doing like a lot of pay sets there. It was really just like, all the coaches, they were really accommodating to last year when I just said, hey, like, I really want to go all in on this. Like I'm going to have a lower class load this semester. I just really want to go all in on seeing how good I can really get long course. And so we have, obviously we can switch between short course and long course. And I ended up doing like a lot of long course on my own.
So you've been at Penn, you're a senior now. Take us back to freshman year when you were at Penn, and I've had friends at Penn who tell me that they've met the granddaughter of President Biden. I have friends that have told me they've met Noah Schnapp from Stranger Things. Tell me about your first moment where it kind of hit you like, whoa, this is Penn, or like, whoa, this is an Ivy League school.
That's a hard one because I don't know. All those people weren't really there when I was around. But I just say, I guess literally walking, I can say one thing, literally walking into my first class ever freshman year. It was at 8:30 in the morning. It was a completely packed lecture hall, and the rigorousness of it kind of hit me when there was no introduction to the syllabus. There was no nothing. He immediately just started writing on the chalkboard like definitions, like this is the definition of propositional logic, that kind of stuff. And it really just kind of hit me like, wow, I'm really in for a ride here. Like no syllabus week, no nothing. It was really just like tires on the road from day one.
Okay, that's cool. Also, I just have a random question, and I'm definitely keeping this in here, but if you were to play a different sport, do you think you would have made the Olympic team in a different sport with like
No.
competitive sports when you were younger?
I did play competitive sports when I was younger, but I was not any good at them.
Really?
I was not very good. I guess the last sport I really quit before I ran into swimming was basketball. I was not very good. I know how to play basketball, but I'm not like, my hand-eye coordination isn't like that amazing. Like, I mean, I was definitely, obviously I've developed as an athlete a lot since then, but I was just like, I tried other sports when I was younger, but I was leagues better at swimming than like any other sport I did. I was just kind of like a little below average at all the other sports I played. So I'm like, I'm just going to switch to swimming.
I always wonder because obviously it's like everybody who's an Olympian, like they probably played other sports when they were little. And when you're at that level, you obviously have like a grind about it. And like you you were there for a reason, and that work ethic is like definitely there. So that's why I always wonder, like, if you played like, I don't know, basketball, or if you like did track or something, then like would it still be the case? But anyway, so we heard that you have a hidden talent, which is you're fluent in Mandarin.
Yes, I am.
Are you able to communicate with other people? Were you able to communicate with other people at the Olympics? Like, do you want to share any? Do you want to like say something?
So I haven't really spoken it much since high school, but so at 2023 Worlds, when I was in the medal room with Chin, I tried speaking and saying like, "Congratulations, good job." And I feel like this is definitely kind of a theme when you talk to people who are like native Chinese speakers. I like said like, "Good job" doing everything in Chinese, and you just reply to me in English. So it's kind of hard to like really get the ball rolling with that kind of stuff. But I mean, he was nice about it, but it was just kind of funny. I was like, oh, whatever.
That's really awesome. You're in, like we said, you're in your senior year. Talk to us about any big milestones, any meets that you're looking forward to this year. Just kind of enjoying it after the Olympics, or shoveling right back at it. What are we thinking?
Definitely just trying to enjoy it all after the Olympics. It's been a little rough coming back since the Olympics, but we're kind of getting there step by step. I definitely had some pretty rough beginnings to this year, like in late August, but sort of inching back. There's good progress being made, but the focus is really just on IVs and NCAAs this year. Just trying to do as well as I can in those meets. I obviously don't have any access to long course pools, but I'm doing what I can with what I can. I'm still getting in the pool a good amount at the pools we are renting for this year. So I'm just hoping to make the best of it.
We asked Anna this as well. Like the post-Olympic vibe, like, I'm gonna be careful with my words with that, but like, what is that like? Because I feel like everyone views the Olympics as this glamorous, amazing thing, which it is, but nobody really like ever talks about the downside and like kind of the toll that it could potentially take. And it probably does take on every single person when they like get smacked with reality when they come back home. So what's that like? And then we also want to know about if you're going to go pro, plan to do it again, all of that.
Okay. So in terms of post-Olympics, it was definitely kind of twofold for me because I get homesick pretty easily and I was gone for a long time. So kind of when it was kind of, I'm definitely sad to be leaving. But I kind of left right after swimming ended because I had no family or friends staying directly afterwards. So I was just kind of there on my own. I'm like, I'll just leave on the day after. I didn't really have any place to stay. I didn't really rent a hotel for myself. So I was just really happy first and foremost, I was just happy to be home. I hadn't been home in a really long time. And it was just nice I had seen everyone I knew at the Olympics, but it was just kind of nice to, be back in America. Just kind of getting back to the swing of things. But it was definitely a little mundane coming back. There was so much happening at the Olympics. And then all of a sudden, it's just very quiet. I'm just like spending time with my family, which I was very, very happy about. But it was definitely, I wouldn't say I like was sad or anything, but I was just a huge shift in terms of vibes. I mean, I really like being like, it was very like temperate and quiet. And I was just spending time with my family. But, I also like doing that. So it's kind of a nice end of the summer, definitely just kind of get to spend time with the family before I went back to school.
Post-college plans, are you going to try to do it again 2028? Are you going pro between now and then? Like, what are you thinking?
I'm still thinking about it, weighing my options, but I haven't really decided yet.
It's very fair.
Totally fair. You reached the pinnacle of our sport, being an Olympian. Everyone's really, really proud of you. And you're going to get a great degree out of it. How's that going, by the way? How's senior year going academically? Are you still getting killed in school, or is it letting up a little bit, or what's going on?
Yeah, I'm still getting pretty killed, to be honest. I'm with my degree, or I don't know if it's with degrees. I think I'm going to be I'm going to try and graduate next December. I still have a lot because I just have a lot of, I just need I have a ton of classes I need to graduate because I'm doing a dual degree, with finance and Wharton. I'm doing computer science in the engineering school, and it's uncoordinated. So it's just two separate degrees. And then I'm also doing a minor in math.
Wow. I'm sure you have a busy schedule there.
Yeah, it's been also I didn't take that many classes leading up to the Olympics, so I kind of just catching back up from all that. But it's been rough, but I mean, I'd say I was definitely pretty rough my first 2 years, and then last year kind of slowed down a lot because I was really just trying to focus on swimming a lot. But it's really picking back up again.
That makes sense. So that's amazing. We're really proud of you. One last question here, a little bit of a fun one. The University of Pennsylvania, one of the oldest universities in our nation. If you had to meet 4 famous Penn grads, dead or alive, who would they be?
I'd say I think Elon was a Penn grad. That'd be pretty cool. I know Warren Buffett went to Penn. That'd be pretty cool. I guess I have another fun fact about Penn that not a lot of people know. Penn swimming and diving was the first like swimming team outside of the Olympics.
I believe that. Yeah.
Yeah. 1897.
Yeah.
Penn Columbia is also the first like non-Olympic meet ever.
Yeah.
That's
I can see
And
that.
we are definitely losing. I think last time was like the 125th Penn Columbia meet because they like canceled one of them for World War II and they canceled one for COVID.
Wow, that's incredible. How do you feel? Are you a believer that, the Ivy Leagues were the best in sport about 120 years ago, and then there was an increased focus placed on academics as opposed to athletics? Are you a big believer that if the Ivies really, really wanted to, that they could be the best in every single sport they want again? Because I'm kind of on that train a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, we were really the only ones doing anything. I mean, back in like the early 1900s and stuff like that. But I think nowadays, like academic scholarships and stuff like that, the Ivies, like, I don't know. The Ivies definitely, like, we have some disadvantages related to the thing, like not much emphasis placed on athletics. But like, if Ivy started kind of, if Ivies really like kind of gave scholarships, stuff like that, really put a focus on athletics, maybe we certainly have and they really like revamp their facilities. Like they could certainly do it, but it's also like sometimes in terms of recruiting, it's pretty hard to get some people in to the school in general. So I don't know.
Oh, you're telling me Philadelphia in the winter is a tough sell for most of the country because.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There are a lot of schools like that though, but no, Philadelphia in the winter can be very, very rough.
Really quick, I wanted to ask, like, why, not necessarily like why UPenn, like, I feel like you've kind of explained that already, but like, what was like the runner-up school that you could have gone to? Was it another Ivy or was it somewhere like Cal or like Texas or like, where was it?
I think my top 3 were Harvard, Stanford, Penn.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then, but there were some, like, I think my top 7 were like print. This obviously isn't on there, but Penn, I think it was Penn, Harvard, Stanford. I took my Harvard visit right when I was on my Harvard visit when COVID shut everything down.
Oh, wow.
So that was a little odd, but it was still fun. But it was Penn, Harvard, Stanford, Princeton, and then like UVA, Cal, Michigan. I took an unofficial to Cal, and I didn't end up taking anything to Michigan.
So were you pretty academic driven when like looking? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't want to go to some place like I could have also chosen like MIT or like U Chicago, but I wanted somewhere where like there's a good swim team as well. Like I could really like kind of like pursue that,
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for being our second guest. We are so happy to have you, and it was nice to meet you through the screen. But you did great, and we wish you all the best this year. We're excited to watch you. So.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. It's
Thanks
nice
so
to
much,
be
Matt. Go Quakers.
Thank you. Go Quakers. Alrighty.